And Carl Adrian Alagon. Transfer. Good day everyone. We are here to tackle about the topics, the prohibition on awarded land to be discussed by me, and the kinds of tenant practices to be discussed by Shilalin Kuriba and Grado Jejomar, and the CARP accomplishments by Cristel Arcamo, and the table that shows the land redistribution accomplishment of the DAR from 1972 to 2002 by Carl Adrian Alagon and Ken Kevin Ugatis. So now, let's tackle the prohibition on awarded lands. It is stated that no beneficiaries shall sell, transfer, or convey the land awarded to him within the period of 10 years, except to his heirs, to the government, or to the LBP or the Land Bank of the Philippines. Any transfer in violation of said provision is deeded null and void. If the land has not yet been fully paid for the beneficiary, the rights to the land may be transferred or conveyed with the prior approval of the DAR or the Department of Agrarian Reform to any heir of the beneficiary who, as a condition for such transfer or conveyance, shall cultivate the land himself. Failing compliance herewith, land shall be transferred to the LBP or the Land Bank of the Philippines, which shall give due notice of the availability of the land in the manner specified in the immediately preceding paragraph.
The next topic that I will be sharing to you is the kinds of tenant practices. The following are the different types of tenant practice in the Philippines before and during the implementation of CARP or Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program. The first kind is the cash tenants. These farmers pay in cash as rent for the land they had been used. The rent is usually computed per hectare of land. The first kind is a cash tenants. These farmers pay in cash as rent of their use of the land. The rent is usually computed per hectare of the land. So here is the example of share of produced tenants. If Mang Jose and Don Pipito had an agreement that the farmer would share of their harvest products as the payment of his use of the land with the condition of 20 sacks of corn per hectare, then Mang Jose has to earn 60 sacks of corn to pay the 3 hectares of land to be used. So here is an example of cash and share of produced tenants. Then Mang Jose would be paying 50% of 10,000 per hectare plus the 50% of his produced products. So in total, it would be paying 15,000 in cash plus the 30 sacks.
The fourth kind of tenant practices is fixed amount of produced tenants. These farmers pay rent in the form of fixed quality of harvest agreed upon the owner and the tenant. The tenant is obliged to pay the rent whether the harvest is bountiful or not. For example, 1/3 of the produced products is intended to the landowner after deducting all the allowable deduction. It could be for fertilizers, pesticides, and insecticides, because there is an agreement beforehand. Assume 100 sacks times 1/3 is equals to 33 sacks times the 3 hectares is equals to 99 sacks per year. The fifth kind is cash and fixed amount of produced tenants. These farmers pay rent for using the land in combination of cash payments and fixed portions of harvest agreed beforehand whether the harvest is bountiful or not. Here, the tenants are obliged to pay, unlike in number 3. For example, rental is equals to 10,000 pesos is equal to 20 sacks of palay, or the 50% in cash and another 50% for fixed amount produced tenants. Cash payments is equals to 5,000 and 10 sacks of palay per hectare. 5,000 pesos times 3 hectares is equals to 15,000 pesos and 10 sacks of palay times 3 hectares is equals to 30 sacks. Therefore, 15,000 pesos and 30 sacks of palay. So the sixth kind is rent-free tenants. These farmers who are tilling the land with the consent of the landowner without having to pay rent in cash or in kind.
CARP's overall accomplishment. CARP has many weaknesses, loopholes in the law, poor administrative capacity, corruption, and the use of political influence. Yet, many agrarian reform advocates contend that there have been some significant gains made in land acquisition that by those who are supposed to benefit from CARP. Even the claims by those NGOs expressing the view that the accomplishment rate may be as low as 40% would still allow us to presume that there are roughly 1 million beneficiary households in possession of roughly 2 million hectares. The question now is how to move forward, especially since the guarantee of the future government funding for CARP ended in June 2008 with 84% of land for compulsory acquisition outstanding. Unless addressed, the lesson learned will be that those opposing the correction of historical injustice and improve equity simply need to bide their time and engage in blocking moves for all to go away.
Hey guys, the next topic will be showing you the table of land redistribution accomplishment from 1972 to 2002. Mode of acquisition in the Philippines. The grand total from 1972 to 2002 is 3,369,096 hectares. In Marcos's term from 1972 to 1985 is 70,175 hectares. In Akinu's term from 1972 to 1985 is 848,519 hectares. In Ramos' term from 1992 to 1998 is 1,900,034 hectares. In Estrada's term from 1998 to 2000 is 333,385 hectares. In Arroyo's term in 2001 to December of 2002 is 215,983 hectares. Non-PAL the grand total of 1,681,336 hectares. In Marcos' term is 55,116 hectares. In Aquinos' term is 399,833 hectares. In Ramos' term is 1,050,171 hectares. In Estrada's term is 113,353 hectares. In Arroyo's term is 81,863 hectares. GOL, or government-owned lands, has a grand total of 930,429 hectares. In Aquinas' term has 166,348 hectares. In Ramos' term has 655,171 hectares. In Estrada's term has 77,105 hectares. In Arroyo's term has 31,805 hectares. Settlements has a grand total of 75,347 hectares. In Marcos' term has a 44,075 hectares. In Aquinas' term has a 208,795 hectares. In Ramos' term has a 356,646 hectares. In Estrada's term has a 35,227 hectares. In Arroyo's term has a 29,767 hectares. Landed Estates has a grand total of 75,349 hectares. In Marcos' term has a 11,041 hectares. In Aquinas' term has a 24,690 hectares. In Ramos' term has a 38,354 hectares. In Estrada's term has a 971 hectares. In Arroyo's term has a 291 hectares. PAL, or privately owned agricultural lands, has a grand total of 1,687,760 hectares. In Marcos' term has a 15,059 hectares. In Aquinas' term has a 448,686 hectares. In Ramos' term has a 849,863 hectares. In Estrada's term has a 220,032 hectares. In Arroyo's term has a 154,120 hectares. BOS has a grand total of 447,533 hectares. In Aquinas term has a 55,332 hectares. In Ramas term has a 256,032 hectares. In Estrada's term has a 76,893 hectares. In Arroyo's term has a 59,276 hectares. VLT, or Voluntary Land Transfer, has a grand total of 469,875 hectares. In Aquinas term has a 20,734 hectares. In Ramas term has a 330,092 hectares. In Estrada's term has a 73,344 hectares. In Arroyo's term has a 45,705 hectares. CA, or Compulsory Acquisition, has a grand total of 214,416 hectares. In Aquinas term has a 13,713 hectares. In Ramas term has a 120,888 hectares. In Estrada's term has a 47,771 hectares. In Arroyo's term has a 32,044 hectares. OLT, or Operation Land Transfer under Marcus PD 27, has a grand total of 546,282 hectares. In Marcus term has a 15,059 hectares. In Aquinas term has a 15,059 hectares. In Ramas term has a 358,907 hectares. In Estrada's term has a 18,664 hectares. In Arroyo's term has a 10,801 hectares. GFI, or Government Financial Institutions, has a grand total of 9,654 hectares. In Estrada's term has a 3,360 hectares. In Arroyo's term has a 6,094 hectares.